Hello everybody, welcome to Butterfly Talk on YouTube. Now Butterfly Talk used to be a podcast a couple of years ago, and while I mostly interviewed people from the AB community, and I talked about AB as well, I kind of lost, I didn't know what else to talk about, and so I kind of stopped it. And if you're interested in that podcast, because it was really cool and interesting, I interviewed a lot of interesting people, I'll put the link below so you can find it. It's on YouTube, iTunes, and other places. Now, on this version of Butterfly Talk, I want to talk more about mom to mom. Basically, I want to talk about different aspects of coping and celebrating our amazing kids. And this is going to be maybe once a month, twice a month at the most. I need to figure out what to talk about first, and then I'll see how long I can make, what I can talk about. So, coronavirus, how's everybody dealing with that? As a special need mom and a stay-at-home mom, my life hasn't really changed a whole lot. All nurses and caregivers feel the same way. We can't really leave the house. I can't really leave the house and leave Nikki alone. If my husband's home or my other son, my healthy son Connor, he's 16 now, and so he can take care of Nikki if I have to go somewhere. But I don't even go anywhere anymore. I used to go grocery shopping, and now I don't even do that. I go online and I tell the store what I want, and they have it ready for me when I pick it up. I just pick up the groceries, so I don't really go anywhere. It's been great on my gas mileage, I'll tell you that. I think how shall I say this? I get upset when people take this lightly, because my Nikki has EB. He's a very compromised version of EB. He has wounds everywhere. He has wounds that haven't healed in years. And so if he were to get the coronavirus, it would be the end of him. And plus, my dad is 90 years old. He's in Italy, and so that's scary to me. And also, they also said that people with illnesses, any health concerns, especially those that had strokes, are at risk. And my husband had 2 strokes 10 years ago. He had one in late 2009, and he had one in early 2010. So I think for the EB community, we need to be on guard about this virus. And that's pretty much all I'll say about that. So before I start talking about the topic of the day, many of you know Kaylee Cuoco supports the EB MRF Foundation, and she does her little video, and she calls it the Cup of Cuoco. I love Kaylee to death, and so I wanted to show you 2 things. One is my shirt for the day. This one, I love someone with Epidermolysis Bullosa. This is actually one of my shirts that I made for my Zazzle store. I make no profit, so I'll put a link below the video if you wanted to get it. It's really comfy. It's interesting because I don't normally wear t-shirts. I am more of a blouse girl. I grew up in Italy. People in Italy dress up all the time, and so I usually just wear t-shirts around the house, or if I was going to go to an amusement park or something. So that, and then the mug. Kaylee has her mug of the day. This is my mug of the day. This is special to me because Nikki saw this in a gift store a few years ago, and he loved it. He said, "Mama, you need to get that." And it says, "Proud to be 100% nurturing, encouraging, cook, cleaner, and nurse." A 24 hours a day mom. And so Nikki loved that, and it says Marvelous Mom in the back. And I wish I could tell you where to get it. I don't know. It was just a gift store a few years ago. So anyway, it's my mug of the day. I have a lot of mugs, and I have a lot of shirts, so I'll be showing you that just for fun. Now, the topic of the day is the bravery of the kids with EB. When you think about it, the surgeries, the daily bandage changes, the infusions, the poking and prodding by too many doctors to count. And that's just the physical part. There's also the mental part, the judgments, the isolation. These kids define the word brave. Let me read you a passage from my book, Butterfly Child. And because this really exemplifies the bravery of these kids. This is on chapter 9, page 202. It could be different on the Kindle or a different version. The copy I'm reading you from is the very first book that was ever printed, just for me to approve it. So the page may be different, but I have it on page 202. One morning in October 2001, just a couple of weeks after Nicky got his aid, I got a call from the school I was hoping I would never get. Nicky had tripped and fell headfirst on the mat inside the class, and he was very hurt in the face and was screaming uncontrollably. I don't think it took me 2 minutes to get to the school. I walked in the classroom and I was beside myself. Nicky had chunks of skin coming off his cheeks, and basically his whole face was a mess. I took him to the bathroom inside the classroom, and I set him in my lap, trying to calm him down, kissing him, hugging him, loving him. It was awful. I was all ready to take him home, but once he quieted down, he told me he didn't want to go home. I couldn't believe it. The entire classroom pretty much got a lesson on EB that day that I'm certain they will never forget. And I'm crying too, just thinking about it. Realizing there are more things to worry about than what to wear to school, or that being healthy is a privilege. Little 5-year-olds may not remember this day, but the lesson they might. Despite a face full of wounds, Nicky decided to stay until the end of the class, and of course, I didn't leave his sight. The bravery and determination my 5-year-old showed that day is beyond anything I had witnessed in my entire life. Let me pause for a sec. All right, sorry about that. I get a little emotional sometimes. I'm a very emotional person, so what am I going to say? So, over the years, I have seen many kids with EB. I've met many of them at different conferences, at different Camp Wonders, one of them. And I've seen kids doing things that are like beyond what you would imagine somebody with fragile skin could do, such as rock climbing or horse riding, biking. I remember the son of one of my friends, and he was riding his tricycle like there was no tomorrow, so fast, and I just couldn't believe it. It was crazy. One person I'll never forget her name was Drury. She's passed since, but when Nicky was 1 year old, I met her, and she didn't even have any hands. She had the stumps for hands. Yet she lived on her own. She could drive. I remember her opening her suitcase to show me one of her books, and I don't even know, she had no fingers, and yet she could turn pages. I was just beyond amazed. Anyway, she was amazing. Now, other examples that I can think of as far as Nicky goes, because of course I know a lot about Nicky because he's my son. The times when we went to amusement parks like Disneyland or Legoland, and he just wanted to ride those rides no matter what, and I came ready because I'm not the one to stop him to do things to help him out. And so I would bring a blanket or pillows, and so he could sit on that, and then I would have a pillow that's long enough to go from underneath to, it was kind of like a big blanket sort of pillow. where I could just wrap around him and so I could hold them so he wouldn't go. So he went on the Thundermantle Railroad or some of the other rides at Legoland, and it was just, he was so brave, and he just did it. He's like, I'm here, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, yay, Nikki, you know. And of course he got hurt, but he didn't care. He had wanted to do the thing. And another way that Nikki I felt was brave was showing his wounds, being very open to me take pictures of wounds. Nikki's always been very open to that, and I know there are many, even in the EBU community, who've ridiculed him for that, who've just told me how I was a horrible mother or that I was exploiting him or anything like that. But rest assured, he's okay with it. He wants it. And I think that's brave. That's very, very brave of him to do that. Another thing, let me see, I put down some notes up here. His body is in constant battle to heal those wounds, which is stunted his growth. And he doesn't look like a 23-year-old with our DEB. He looks like maybe a 13-year-old or less. He hasn't changed much the past 10 years at all. And he deserves recognition, as all kids with DEB deserve recognition, for the bravery and their love for life. Nikki has a love for life that is unbelievable. Yes, while we do bandages, he'll be upset, but he turns right around, he plays with his friends, and he likes to sleep, and Nikki loves to be alive. So I'm here just to support him. I feel strength doesn't really come from anything supernatural. It comes out of pain, out of despair, and heartbreak. And it's watching my son being braver than brave and never complaining that I gained my strength. Truly, on a day-to-day basis, the bravery of my son gives me energy to keep going, to keep fighting for him. He wants a cure, and I'll do anything I can to get this awareness out. To all the EB parents out there, remember this. You are strong. You are courageous. You're doing an amazing job. We are navigating a path that we never asked to be on. And so, you know, there's no way around DB. We just got to take care of it day by day. And we can only experience it as bravely as possible. And that's my video for the day. If you have any suggestions for any topics, or do you have any questions, leave it below in the comments. I have a lot of questions that I have for Nikki, and in a future episode I'll show that video. Actually, I still have to make it, but I'll make it. And subscribe and turn on the bell below to get notified for more episodes, I suppose. And so please support EB awareness by going to ebinfoworld.com or Deborah.org or ebmrf.org or ebresearch.org, and there's many others, but I'll leave all the links below. Okay? Thank you so much for watching.